How much do I charge to make this part? We have some labor time spent drafting, we've got some time spent cutting, we've got time in prep, we've got time in weld. We also have material cost to figure out. So this episode is the complete breakdown of this part and how I calculate the cost, which tells me how much to charge the customer. And the total might just surprise you. So the part starts out as a basic cardboard template provided by the customer. It features some rough dimensions on the backside, which are helpful when it comes to drafting it up. I do have some creative freedom regarding the design of this part, but the general dimensions have to stay the same. The goal here is to make a strong part that is also lightweight. Now, drafting time is categorized as labor. Most people charge a flat fee for drafting, but some choose to do hourly. Hourly is usually for larger drafting jobs and assemblies, where you know you're going to be working for a long time. Flat fees are for small jobs, or ones that only take a few minutes to sketch up some 2D lines and little things just to make a DXF file for cutting. Now, my flat fee for drafting is $50. Some places charge $70 to $80 or more, but it's really up to you to determine what your fee is going to be based on, because this is where the majority of your labor is going to be paid. I can usually knock out a small part in less than 30 minutes, so it's about half of my labor rate is what I charge for my flat fee. This particular part took 20 minutes to draft. Now, with the drafting complete and nested, we have the general size and dimensions of the material we need to make this part out of. Now, I'm choosing to use 1/8" aluminum because it is both strong and lightweight based on this design. And since a lot of people have asked, the reason why it's 3 pieces instead of 1 piece with 2 breaks and only 1 weld seam, it's because it exceeds the capacity of my brake. I simply can't bend it, so I have to weld it out. So according to the draft, I need to cut a piece out that is 14 inches by 8 inches. To figure out how much that costs, you first have to know the price you paid for the sheet, unless you are buying a pre-cut piece from a supply shop. If you are using scraps and drops instead, and you don't know the price, call a metal supplier and get a price for a full sheet so you can calculate the cost of what you have on hand. Now, I'm a reseller, so the cost of my 4x10 1/8" aluminum sheet is $230 currently. Now, the price may change tomorrow. It may change the next time I buy a sheet. It could change whenever. It's probably going to go up, but we really always hope it goes down. But nevertheless, $230 is what I'm going to use to do the math on this particular sheet, because the part is coming off of this sheet. If the price changes any other time, you'll use that price for that sheet. 1, it keeps your books very accurate, and 2, it keeps your pricing structure right where it needs to be. You'll always know how much you paid and how much you can charge. So this sheet measures 120 inches long by 48 inches wide. If I multiply the length by the width, I end up with 5,760 square inches of material. Take the cost of the material, which is $230, and divide it by the total square inches, which comes out to roughly 4 cents per square inch. The sheet I need for the part measures 112 square inches. 4 cents per square inch multiplied by 112 square inches comes out to a total cost of $4.48. Now, since I'm a reseller, I do not pay sales tax on the sheet, but I am required to collect sales tax when I make the part because it is a tangible product. I also choose to mark up my material. Typically, you look at 35 to 50% as your benchmark of markup on it. You would typically go on a lower or smaller volume job, you would go with a higher markup, so the 50% range. If you have a larger job, you would normally go with a smaller amount of markup. This allows you to get kind of competitive on your pricing and maybe give a break for a large order. So that's typically where people operate. Now, those who don't know how to do math, they usually just say, well, take the price of it and double it. Which, yeah, it kind of works, but then again, it kind of doesn't. You need to know your numbers. Now, the other thing is you can pretty much put any markup on it you want. It doesn't really matter, but you got to consider that the higher markup usually means the less likely you're going to get work to come in, especially if your prices are sky high. Not as many people are going to come in and do it. But if you put your price or your markup way too low, you're probably going to go out of business because you need to make money. Now, let's get on to cutting. I have about 30 seconds in tool pathing this part on the fast cut. With the hypertherm attached, it knocked the part out in 1 minute and 46 seconds. Now, side note, I was a complete dummy when I actually set this up. I forgot to turn on the torch high controller, the auto volt set, and the pierce delay timer. So the cut quality suffered just a little tiny bit. And what that basically boils down to is I had to spend 3 minutes fixing the part or cleaning it up a little bit more, as opposed to what I would have had to do a little bit less than that just for prep for welding. So 3 minutes doing all of the cleanup and all the rest of that good stuff. And now we get to the welding. This part is pretty straightforward to weld. The total inches of welding on the part is 9.25 inches. That's on every single joint. But since the part needs to have the ultimate strength, both sides of each joint need to be welded, which means we double the inches to 18.5. Now remember that 18.5 inch number later. I'll tell you why that's important. But my total weld time here is 6.5 minutes. I have 1 more minute of scraping the holes to clean it up a little bit. So let's add up all of our labor here. 3 minutes on the shear to cut the sheet down to part size, and that part size is based off of the nest that we did in drafting. 2 minutes on the fast cut cutting out the part. This includes the quick click the button and make the tool path and then set the machine up. On the fast cut, it's streamlined, it's lickety split, right? 3 minutes to prep the part. That was because I screwed up on my cut quality. I forgot to push a couple buttons, but prep it out, clean it on the grinding table, 3 minutes for that. 6.5 minutes to weld it. Literally, that's all it took to weld this out. 6.5 minutes. That's exactly how much I got in the camera footage of me actually welding. 1 minute to scrape the holes and finish. Now the combined total of minutes to make this part, literally the entire part to build it from scratch, 15.5 minutes. But we need to convert that to hours, right? So to convert your minutes to hours, take 15.5, multiply it by 0.0167, and you get 0.26 hours to make this part. Now take your hourly rate and multiply it by how many hours you worked. My hourly rate is $100 an hour, so multiply 100 times 0.26, you get $26 for labor to make this part. But we have to add in the flat fee. This is different from your hours, right? The fee is a flat fee, so we just tack that onto it, right? $26 for the part plus the flat fee of $50 for drafting, and we get $76 in labor to do this job. Now, the total materials cost is $4.48, and with the 50% markup, that comes out to $6.72 plus tax, because I'm required to charge tax on it, which in Clark County, Las Vegas, Nevada, where the shop is located, 8.375%. Labor does not get taxed, so the total owed to me for making this part is $83.28 for 35 minutes of work. Not bad. But why is breaking all of this stuff down so important when you could just charge random numbers and hope you get close, right? Well, in order to run a successful business and continue to grow, you have to know how much something costs and how much money you actually make. If you simply charged per pierce of cutting or per inch of weld or just doubled the cost of something, you're not going to have very accurate numbers, and you're not going to be able to put realistic prices on parts. For instance, do you remember how many total inches of weld we had for this part? It was 18.5. Now, let's just say that I charged $1 per inch to weld this thing out, right? That's not very much. I'm getting shorted on what I should be making on that part. Well, let's just say that we moved it to like $10 an inch or something like that. Well, I'm pretty sure the customer is going to be pretty pissed off when he sees that you charged him $185 just to weld the bracket, plus all whatever other fees and stuff like that. So it's not very realistic. One might say that you can charge a variable rate, I'll look at this and say that's $5 or that's $2 or that's $3 or $10 or whatever the case is, right? But that does you absolutely no good whatsoever to take a guess on it. You have to get the numbers. You have to know the numbers, and they're not that hard to figure out. But what is hard to figure out is how to give a quote on a job before you actually have done the job. So if that's something you want to know in a separate video, do me a favor and smash the thumbs up and drop me a comment down below. And if we got enough interest in it, I'll make a video all about that. But that's all I've got for right now. I hope this information helps you out. Just go out there and plug the numbers in. It's not that hard. That's how you charge for a job, and it's honest. So, take it as you will. See you guys on the next episode.